Hello, candidates, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Michaela. I'm the content creator behind KandidKayla.com, a platform where I help us become the best we that we can be with the intent of growing ourselves, in ourselves, and for ourselves. So today we're going to talk about what you can do in your 20s in order to start building generational wealth. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to actually change your money mindset. If you have not gone and looked at our blog post, I will link it in the description box below. It goes into great detail about how to actually gain a positive money mindset. But essentially, having a positive money mindset is understanding that number one, all things come from the Lord, and therefore you cannot hold on to money with a closed fist. Number two, you need to have a foundation and a principle that money is just that, a tool. It is something that you can use in order to do things, gain things, or experience things. You cannot expect money to solve all of your problems. You cannot expect money to fill anything inside of your heart. The last thing is there is always more money. So if you spend money, be expecting to be able to find a way in order to gain it back. It is not the end all be all. The second thing you're going to want to do is to practice principles of financial freedom. So financial freedom means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but in my definition, financial freedom looks like not having your money tell you what to do, but rather you tell your money what to do. The first principle to actually get you to that place is to start your life off as financially free as possible. So whether you have the opportunity to go get a college education or to go to trade school or to simply just start a business and it works for you, what you want to do is you want to ensure that you start your adult life off with as little debt as possible. If you do have to acquire debt for things such as schooling and cars and housing and things of that nature, you're going to want to try to pay off as much debt as possible. The only way to financial freedom is to have nothing binding you, no contracts binding you to having to spend money. In that way, you're able to control what comes in and what goes out at your leisure, not at the leisure at which somebody else tells you that it has to be done. The second thing you're going to want to do is to actually practice financial literacy. So whether gaining some sort of financial education along the way, or understanding financial literacy on your own, you're going to want to have that under your belt. The main principle of financial literacy is budgeting. If you have not seen our budgeting video, I will also link that in the description box below, as well as a blog post attached to it. But essentially, a budget is minimizing your expenses while maximizing your income. This is going to set you on the track so that when you are on your way to financial freedom and or in financial freedom, you're able to manage your funds. If you're given $1 million tomorrow and you don't know how to balance a budget, you will be broke the next day. The last tool to financial freedom is to have income diversification. So I recommend in this case to have a career and not a job. So the difference between a career and a job is that a career you're able to work your way up and to secure more income as you work longer or have the possibility to do so. Whereas in a job, you have that possibility, but there is a ceiling. And you always want to ensure that you never put a ceiling on your earning potential. Again, the whole premise behind a budget is to maximize income and minimize expenses. So the only way to maximize income is to put yourself in a position by which there is no cap on your income. This is why I believe that income diversification is particularly important. If you are working different income strategies, when one dries up, you will always have another to fall back on. For this reason, I often talk about side hustles and different entrepreneurial tracks because it's definitely important for you to open yourself up to different avenues and different streams of income. If you guys are interested in that conversation, I also have a link to that blog post in the description box below, talking all about side hustles and how to maximize your income. The last and final thing you're going to want to have in order for you to start yourself off in your 20s towards generational wealth is to have discipline. You can have financial literacy, you can know all it is that you need to know about money, you can have a positive outlook on money, you can have a job, a career, and multiple streams of income, but if you have no discipline, with how you actually execute each of those things, then you will have no consistency when it comes to your money. In the words of Joe Austin II, I will link his book below. It has a lot of really awesome tools as it pertains to generational wealth, but you're not supposed to be on a roller coaster when it comes to your finances. And the only way to ensure that that's not taking place is for you to have discipline. In 3 ways in particular, you should exercise intentional discipline. The first is in the way that you give. And so I talk about this in a lot more detail in our budgeting video. Again, that is linked in the description box. But as a brief synopsis, giving is the supernatural factor that touches your expenses. So if you give back to the Lord what He is required of you, and or you hold your money loosely and allow it to work for you in ways that you're able to bless other people, you are more apt to receive more money and to be able to know how to receive more money when the time comes, because you've been obedient, you've been more honest, you've been giving in the finances that the Lord has given you. The second area of discipline is in your saving. Again, budgeting is balancing your income with your expenses, but saving is a part of that. And you can't expect to always put an emergency on a credit card and think that you're not going to be in debt. The only way to ensure that you do not acquire debt for the future when it comes to things that are unexpected is for you to save. Again, you can find out more about that in the blog post that's linked in the description box. The last thing you're going to want to have discipline in is actually investing. This is what I believe takes your generational wealth from all right to supernatural. If you're able to get this investing concept, that is absolutely amazing, because most people in their 20s don't really have the opportunity without having debt. So if you are at a job and someone is willing to match your 401k, do not leave free money on the table. Please take it. Otherwise, I definitely recommend opening a Roth IRA. This way, you're setting money aside for your future so that when the time does come, even as your expenses increase and your income increases, you're always putting money aside in case of a rainy day in the future when your income is maybe not as high and or is minimal. So I talk a bit in depth again about each of these concepts in the attached blog post for this video. You can find that linked in the description box as well. But I did want to get this information out to you all. It's a very simple process. Again, it's just 3 basic steps. But as simple as it sounds, so many people cannot and do not achieve these basic steps in their 20s and try to play catch up in their 30s. So if you guys found this video interesting, please like, comment, and share, as well as subscribe to the channel. We'll have even more financial videos as we go along throughout the rest of the month. Comment in the description box if you guys are setting yourselves up for generational wealth, and if you feel like it's something that's important to you, whether you're in your 20s or otherwise. So once again, thank you guys so much for your time, and until next time, goodbye.